Another day, another upset. Get used to it, Donatas. Again, we saw a team that was the favorite to win, at least on paper, losing a game, but there's a big but over here. And that's they were missing their essential star player for reasons not exactly known.
His knee. That's the official reason why Giannis Antetokounmpo didn't show up in a game between Greece and Bosnia-Herzegovina. And in a game which seemed potentially a situation to get him some rest for the upcoming games and potentially the game for the first place in the group against Spain. Now Greece is in a quite complicated situation. Still, a lot is in their hands, but now they're kind of pushed to the ropes. They must win against Spain to win the group.
And even then, it's not a guarantee they finish first, because if Italy win their games,
It's guaranteed.
Or is it guaranteed?
If they win
guaranteed?
against Spain, it's guaranteed.
Well, then, anyways.
But still, it's not the situation that somebody in Greece imagined before facing Bosnia and Herzegovina and losing them against them by 3 points is something that complicates things.
And it's crazy because if this was load management, we don't know exactly if this was actual serious injury scare or anything. But if this is just resting Giannis before a very important game, you just now you see why you can't do load management in short tournaments like that, especially against Bosnia. Out of all the teams in your group, I guess you could have done that against Cyprus like they did successfully. But against Bosnia...
Wait. Are you saying that Greece suck without Giannis?
Suck. I like that, Donatas, because this whole big bubble that was created about this
Bullshit.
quote from Yusuf Nurkic is just language barrier problems, folks. I mean, I don't know who was the initial guy to report it. I know our Greek colleague also misheard. Everyone misheard what Yusuf Nurkic actually said, and I'm shocked because today, actually, when we came into the office, Donatas was like, "We should talk about that Yusuf Nurkic quote." I was like, "What quote? I missed it." And he was like, "Oh, look it up. It's quite a serious one." I was a bit surprised, and I was like, "Okay, let me listen to it." And actually, if we could just put that on here.
Before we start, can we stop? So the long story short, this is what were the pre-game vibes.
Okay.
This Instagram post, this article, also in the Greek media, I saw this report on Sport24, and I think it was everywhere in the Greek media, also including BasketNews, because we have our Greek reporter over there. So the long story short, the quote was something like, Giannis Antetokounmpo is basically stopping Giannis in transition and giving him to take those shots.
Yeah.
And the following line was like, he suck in those defenses and yada yada. Let's say that in the NBA he has some more help, there's more space, so it's easier, and FIBA is different, that's why it makes things complicated. The first time I saw this, it was on our Instagram, I was like, ooh, that's a bold statement before the game where you're actually facing Giannis. And I'm like, okay, it's Yusuf Nurkic, he's known for bold statements, but still, why you want to kind of find an additional motivation for Giannis and Greece to bust your ass in this game?
I don't know. Let's pause here with that phrasing. Bust your ass. Okay, anyways. Now let's clear it all up. Let's clear it all up in terms of what he actually said. And Skirmantas, if you could be ready to pause, I'll just pause at certain moments. So let's go with this.
You've played against him multiple times. Any input that you can help your
Could have skipped the beginning, but it's fine.
Or trying to stop him?
I mean, I think it's different. So now he playing more 5, I believe.
Okay, he plays more 5.
Watching game, he play 5 more than 4. So
plays the center more.
He would have to defend too. So by the end of the day, did just stop him in transition and live with his shot.
Stop. He just said, okay, so stop him in transition and live with his shot, which is logical because with Giannis, his strong suits are getting to the basket, and maybe you can live with the shot because that's not the guaranteed bucket. Now, next.
Generally, he saw kind of those defenses.
Stop. Generally, he saw kind of those defenses in the last Eurobaskets. We don't need to play the rest of it. He basically said, generally, what you saw that Giannis saw these kind of defenses in the previous Eurobaskets, and this is how you contain Giannis. Kinda, suck. Giannis suck in this, miscommunication thing. So this was it.
It caused problems for Yusuf Nurkic and Bosnian Federation, I think, because this morning we woke up and we see that there's this article that we had by our colleague didn't exist. And we were like, what happened? What's going on? And it turns out that our Greek reporter kind of, made it invisible. And we kind of tried to explore what was happening. And he shared the audio, and he also added that I have second thoughts if he actually said sucked. And it was audio. We have video, but we had only audio, and audio is usually a lower quality, especially if it's coming from Yorgo's phone. But anyways, so in audio, I was like listening to it, and suck sounds like sucks or suck. And it sounded like sang, song, saw. It was not a natural, he sucks in those defenses. And I also had different thoughts about that, but when we saw this video in the office, and Gytis, who is more closest to the native speakers as we can get in this office here in Lithuania, he was like, saw kind of those defenses.
But I thought
it was
it's
two
clear.
words.
It's clear. And
from video, it's much clearer.
Yeah.
That's true. So,
but anyways,
and Bosnian Federation reached out to Sport24 first of all, because they published the video. They put the story. There was this quote, and they said that Yusuf never wanted to insult anybody. That he's respectful, and it was just he was
no question.
It was a mistake, but they thought that maybe he told that. But even watching the video, you could feel that there wasn't that energy that I want to be cool, So
No.
And I saw that after the game, Yusuf actually stopped Giannis, and I can guess he explained himself because it took like 10 or 20 seconds. Yusuf, was initiating the conversation. Giannis was like, and maybe he felt insulted somehow, but I think that after talking to Yusuf, maybe after watching this video, I know that one of Antetokounmpo's brothers is a big fan of Urbanus. I think that somehow it will, go into his radar.
We're getting away from the main topic of this, probably of this clip, that Greece actually might suck without Giannis. And this is a big problem. We've seen them play without Giannis before, but that was against a much weaker team. And in this game, sort of got exposed for not having enough creation, for not having enough offensive talent. You're relying on a 35 or 34-year-old, I'm not sure now how old Kostas Lukas is, but you're relying on him to basically facilitate your offense. And we know that an older player like that cannot play 30 minutes. You got Tyler Dorsey, who's a bit up and down. He can score a bit, but then at the same time, he's not very consistent. At least he hasn't been in the past few years. And that's really it. Toliopoulos is the only other guard that was playing tonight and making things happen. And even he couldn't really do much. Let's say not much productive stuff offensively. And when your defense is making a lot of mistakes, and your offense is stuck, that's where you face problems. And this just shows how important Giannis Antetokounmpo is to this Greek team. Basically, without him, all the paint scoring was out of the question because this Greek team was built around Giannis, for Giannis to have shooters around him. When he was out of the game, we saw how I think they scored the fewest points in the paint in the tournament in this game so far.
But can you really score in the paint against Bosnia? I will mention you the lineups that they were throwing at Greece, especially when John Robertson was not playing. So at least in one of the crucial moments in the second half, their lineup included Atic, Lajic, Alibegovic, Kamenjaš, and Nurkic. The shortest guy of this group is 2 meters and 1 centimeter. So you have two guys, 2 meters, 1 centimeter, 2 and 2, 2 and 5, and 2 and 14. And they were clearly out-hustling the Greece's team because it's not a secret. Greece doesn't have a physical, strong, rim protection, in terms of just protecting the paint, fighting for the rebounds. And it felt like Bosnia kind of find a quite easy way how to win against Greece. They were trying to just play those power plays inside the paint to score through your power, through your muscles, basically, with Nurkic, with other guys. When Greece started to play double teams or triple teams, the ball was moving well, and guys like Robertson, for instance, they were making shots from the outside.
Yeah.
And on the offensive boards, Bosnia just had too many second chance opportunities. They had 19 offensive rebounds, my friend. 19. And it kills. Greece's strength is not Giannis scoring in the paint. It's their transition points. And they couldn't score in transition without just getting defensive rebounds and trying to initiate those fast breaks. So that was a huge problem. Greece was just basically too small for Bosnia. They couldn't do that with their big bodies. Too many second chance opportunities, a lot of fouls. You had to double team those guys. And I mean, offensively, when you threw those lineups, it was hard to score for even guys like Slukas or Dorsey, because they were facing just really, really huge guys.
And good defensive ideas. Kostas Slukas was hedged a lot, so he would get the ball out. You get the ball out of his hands. Then the rest of the guys need to create something. And I mean, when your possession ends with Kostas Papanikolaou penetrating to the paint with his slower, let's say, steps, and it gets stopped, you see possessions of Mitoglu posting up, which isn't really his best asset. And I just think it just shows, a lack of variety on their offensive end. And when you actually don't score, then you allow the other team to run. So you mentioned that Greece couldn't do anything in transition, but at the same time, Bosnia had a lot of opportunities to run and just collect easy points from the transition bucket. So I feel like it shows a lot of issues, and considering games like Finland-Lithuania yesterday, where you see what happens when a team that can set up a defense that's smart and sort of shut down one player, how it changes the whole rhythm of the team. If you somehow manage to contain Giannis with the Giannis wall or whatever it might be, this Greek team just, looks a bit vulnerable.
I just really thought that Greece will have more Croatian with the guards like Slukas and Dorsey, compared to the last year with Kalatis and Walkup. And I didn't think that they will face problems against Bosnia without playing Giannis. And it felt like things were going well in the beginning. Like in 12 minutes, in the first 12 minutes of the game, you remember this Thanasis, he tried to dunk, but he couldn't. It was a kind of a weird layup, but he was, so
as always
energetic.
hyped up.
He was hyped up. The atmosphere was electric. And then after that, in the last 28 minutes of the game, they scored 33 points. So 34 in the first 12 minutes and 33 in the rest of 28 minutes. But yeah, and yeah, I mean, facing tough guys, physical guys is not easy, but at the same time, they were missing some luck shooting the ball. They missed some okay shots. Also, it felt like every 50-50 ball was in Bosnia's hands, because they were just, it felt like they wanted it more. It meant more to this team. And I mean, it was really well-deserved victory for Bosnia.
And psychologically, when you think about it, if your coach, let's say, or whatever, coaching staff decides to rest Giannis,
I don't want to speculate.
Yeah,
the official reason is discomfort in knee.
I'm just saying for the team, for the rest of the team, what it feels like. It feels like, then we're taking this game. If let's say we can afford resting Giannis, that means our coach trusts us to win this game no matter what. And when you feel like you're winning, it's fine. But as soon as you start trailing, I think panic sets in. And you could tell in the fourth quarter, when the possessions were ending in turnovers, that they were just, they lost all the confidence in their ability to win this game, in my opinion. So a slightly concerning showing for the Greek team before the most important game of Group C. And, Donatas, there's so many scenarios now, because Greece losing this game means that if, let's say, Spain beats them, then they would have 3 wins, 2 losses.
Let's say they're not finishing first. Okay, what's the price
Yeah.
of winning the
Let's
first
talk it like this. Yeah.
seed in your group? So potentially in the next stage, you're facing the 4th team from the group in Katowice. Actually, you may end up playing in Slovenia, which is not easy. But still, there might be some changes in that group. Maybe you're gonna get Israel, Poland, wherever. I mean,
Depends.
It's okay opponent for you. And in quarterfinals, at this point, it feels like that Lithuania will play Latvia in 8 finals. Finland might shuffle things if they win against Germany. But let's say favorites win. So Latvia, Lithuania in this
Potential
brackets,
quarterfinal.
yeah, allegedly, potentially facing them. It's a nice bracket to have. But if you finish second, potentially, if Germany beats Finland, you're facing Germany in the quarterfinals. If you finish third, it means that potentially Serbia or Turkey, if they win group, potentially after advancing in 8 finals, you're going to face them in quarterfinals.
And if you finish fourth, I think that's also Turkey or Serbia, depending on
depends on
who's
who
first.
finished second, and then if they win against Finland or Lithuania.
So price of the first seed in Group C actually is
quite high.
Is really, really high. Wow. And guys, if you want to keep up with all the latest, hottest Eurobasket news, Eurobasket, social media posts,
injury reports. Injury is the thing in this Eurobasket.
Unfortunately, make sure to follow us on Instagram at BasketNews. Also, make sure to check out basketnews.com for all the articles, all the interviews, all the stories from the people who are at venues in each of the groups. And finally, if you're watching this video on our Basket News YouTube channel, make sure that you are subscribed. If you're not, do it right now. And make sure to put on the notifications bell on and all notifications on.